Jesus who said the kingdom of heaven is within. Stop searching outside of yourself. Turn the view inwards.
Christianity didn't start as a belief system. It started as a consciousness teaching.
If you open a modern Bible, it tells you that you are a broken sinner in need of external rescue. But look closer at what Jesus actually said when he defied the religious elite of his era. Is it not written in your law, you are gods? He didn't say, I am God. He said you. Jesus wasn't teaching theology. He was teaching metaphysics. He was exposing religion as an illusion of control and pointing directly to a hidden mechanism inside the human body. Once you see the biological map hidden within the Gospels, you will never look at religion the same way again. If you are ready to look past the dogma and reclaim your true power, hit the subscribe button right now. Leave a comment below saying I am awake so I know who is joining us on this journey. Let's look at the evidence. To understand the core of this teaching, one must deconstruct the traditional theological framework. In conventional religious structures, humanity is viewed as inherently broken, separated from a distant anthropomorphic deity by the concept of original sin. Salvation, therefore, becomes an external transaction. One must believe in a historical event, submit to an earthly hierarchy, and follow a rigid set of ritualistic codes. The early Gnostic Christians, whose texts were buried in the Egyptian desert at Nag Hammadi to escape institutional destruction, held an entirely opposite perspective. To the Gnostics, humanity's fundamental problem is not sin, but amnesia. We are not broken beings in need of a rescue mission. We are divine sparks trapped within a low-frequency, material simulation. Within this framework, Jesus is understood not as a biological sacrifice, but as a cosmic guide, a living mirror reflecting our true state of existence. In the Gnostic Gospel of Thomas, Jesus states explicitly, "When you come to know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will realize that you are the children of the living Father. But if you will not know yourselves, you dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty." This cuts through the entire apparatus of externalized religion. Salvation is reframed as gnosis direct, experiential inner knowledge. The objective is not to worship the messenger, but to realize the message, effectively shifting human awareness from the lower, egoic mind into a state of universal consciousness. One of the most significant distortions in mainstream history is the linguistic collapse of the name Jesus and the title Christ into a single identity. Christ is not a historical surname. It is the English translation of the Greek word Christos, which mirrors the Hebrew Mashiach, meaning the Anointed One. In esoteric philosophy, Christ represents a universal cosmic principle. It is a specific, high-frequency state of consciousness characterized by unified perception, absolute clarity, and the realization of non-duality. Jesus of Nazareth was a historical container who perfectly embodied and stabilized this frequency within the physical realm. When Jesus refers to the Father, he is not describing an old man on a throne in the sky. He is speaking of the infinite, unmanifest ocean of pure awareness from which all form emerges. He demonstrates this internal alignment when he notes, "I can of my own self do nothing, the Father within me does the work." This is an admission of absolute ego surrender. It is the statement of a mind that has cleared away all personal conditioning, fears, and attachments, allowing the universal intelligence to flow through the physical vehicle without resistance. Furthermore, he explicitly states that this potential is not exclusive to him. "The things that I do you can do also, and even greater things than these shall you do." If Christ were an exclusive, singular historical entity, this statement would be a theological impossibility. But if Christ is a universal wavelength of human consciousness, his words become a direct evolutionary challenge. There was only one Jesus of Nazareth, but the design of the universe allows for an infinite manifestation of Christs. When the literal blinders are removed, the miracles recorded in the Gospels cease to be mere supernatural spectacles designed to demand blind faith. They reveal themselves as precise allegorizations of psychological and spiritual transformation. 1. Opening the eyes of the blind. This miracle has nothing to do with biological optic nerves. It describes the awakening of spiritual perception, the activation of the higher mind. To be blind is to perceive reality exclusively through the distorted filter of the 5 physical senses, which perceive separation, lack, and decay. To receive sight is to look past the veil of matter and perceive the underlying energetic unity of creation. 2. Walking on the water. In ancient psychological symbolism, water represents the turbulent, chaotic realm of the subconscious mind, human emotions, and the instinctual drives of the lower nature. By walking on top of the water, Jesus symbolically demonstrates complete mastery over the emotional and material matrix. He does not sink into the reactive waves of the world. He stands firmly anchored in the stillness of pure awareness. 3. Denying the self and taking up the cross. In Luke 9:23, it is written, "If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me." Institutional interpretation has warped this into an endorsement of self-hatred, guilt, and physical asceticism. In a metaphysical context, to deny the self means to dismantle the ego, the false, conditioned identity constructed from societal programming, fear, and past memories. The cross is the ultimate geometric symbol of the intersection between time and eternity, the physical and the spiritual. The horizontal axis represents the linear timeline of matter, space, and memory. The vertical axis represents the eternal, timeless now of pure consciousness. To take up the cross is to stand consciously at the center of this intersection, sacrificing the limitations of the ego to align with the higher self.